Hi you guys, it's Red. I'm coming to you guys this evening to talk about something that I've been avoiding posting on my Facebook page because it's such a sensitive subject for me. When I think about it, generally I'm kind of driven to tears. And it's just really hard for me to simplify it and put it into text or just write a couple of sentences and add a meme. The issue is the recent occurrences in my hometown, Chicago. Chicago's gone crazy. And it's really hard for me because I want to go home, I want to visit way more often than I do. My work schedule prevents me from that. However, it's to the point now that I don't even know if it's really safe to go back home. I have little people that I have to consider. It's really up to me to keep them safe, and Chicago's not safe. You would think that me being a woman, my children being children, makes a big difference, but apparently it doesn't even make a difference who you are, your age, sex. None of that will keep you safe these days, and I just really wish the urban community valued each other. I can't even just say women and children, value women and children. Yes, they should prioritize us. They should push to keep us safe. Yes, but how about just stop fucking each other up like that? That's what I want. Because even if they chose to keep the women and children safe, the women and children still get caught in the midst and still get hurt, in the crossfire or something that was meant for someone else, I realized how bad the Inglewood area was a long time ago. Um, when I was young, there were gangs everywhere and acting up. Now I feel like gangs are played out and, people just doing too much trying to keep them alive. But, gang banging was alive and well back then. And just as the years went on, the frequency of the young men dying just grew. And I found that sad. But it was really my personal experience of someone trying to do something to me that made me realize, like, oh my goodness, I cannot grow up and have babies and raise them here. Like, no. Getting the hell out of here as soon as I can. When I was 17, on the way home from school one day, me and my friends, would go home together every day and then, go our separate ways at a certain point. So after we split up, this man spotted me. Now, people who know me in real life know Shakita, know that I've always been a thick, shapely little person. It didn't just start, when I had kids. I've always attracted men, probably since I was 12, 13. Well, at this point, I was 17. And this man decided that he wanted me. He pretty much wasn't taking no for an answer, and I was by myself. I was on a busy street. I was on 63rd Street. And I needed to turn off of 63rd to go home, but I wasn't going to while that man was still by me. He was following me for like a block and a half. And I finally thought, okay, accept that phone number so he'll go away, and that's what I did. Let him write his phone number in my little notebook. So I did that, he and I go our separate ways. And I just kept checking to make sure he wasn't following me, you know. So I go ahead, go home. No worries. I figure I'm done with this man. So probably a week later, I'm riding the bus with that same group of friends. We're going home. I see the man sitting on the back of the bus that I'm about to get off of. And whispered to my girl, like, you recognize that dude right there? She was like, no. Like, I'm thinking, like, he looks familiar. And he keeps looking at me. So that was just the first time. Another time, at an earlier point, you know, in our trip home, I noticed him in a seat on the bus. I'm like, why does he keep winding up on the bus with us? And why does he keep looking at me? Now I'm realizing that it was that man that gave me his number that day. It's getting creepy. Well, at another point, we're walking down the street close to the school. We decide to walk instead of getting on the bus. And I see this man. He's outside. He's walking too. Now I'm like, what the hell? Oh, okay, maybe he just lives by the school. You know, I'm being optimistic, thinking maybe he's not a creep. And it's just a coincidence. Well, apparently, the man was trying to figure out where I'd come from so that he could figure out how early I had to be there. I know this now because another morning, I'll say like 3 weeks after that first time I saw him, I was walking. I was late. I was late for school a lot in high school for some reason. But it was another one of those mornings. I was late getting up. I was a few minutes late leaving. And so while I'm walking to go to school, not many people were outside. I really didn't see anyone on the street that I needed to walk to get to 63rd. And so I'm out there. I get about a block and a half away from home. The man comes walking out of nowhere. And he approaches me and starts talking to me like he's just trying to holler at a regular person. I'm clearly young. I told him that first day, like, I'm too young for you, but he didn't care. But, he asked me where I'm going. I said, I don't talk to strangers, especially not early in the morning or late at night. And he said, I'm not a stranger. My name is Alonji. What's your name? I said, I don't talk to strangers. And I kept walking. He stepped in closer to me and put his arm around my shoulder, tightened around my neck and said, shut up or I'll kill you. Held something up to my neck with the other hand, told me, shut up, I'll kill you. And I was terrified inside. Now, fortunately, he continued to walk in the direction we were walking toward 63rd Street. Had probably another block to go. And then he was trying to turn. And I was like, God, I don't want to turn. I don't want to go with him. And right then I saw ahead at the little apartment complex, the Haven Homes, right at 63rd Street, I saw a maintenance man outside. I kicked that man so fast and ran toward that maintenance man, running, just screaming, help me please. And so he himself ran. The maintenance man ran after him. I don't know what happened. He didn't catch him. So at some point, the maintenance man came back, I guess. But my best friend and his brothers heard me out there screaming. They came out of the house. I don't know why they weren't at school, but they came out, comforted me, helped me calm down. We called the police. I went to my other friend's house who also lived in that complex. Called the police, and I guess the man didn't think that I remembered him. And didn't remember that he gave me his phone number. So the police had his name and his number. They were able to track him down. Found out that this is a regular thing that he did. He'd already been to jail for raping and, abducting women. That was the point at which I realized violence against women, that's not just on TV. It's not just something I'm going to see on the news. It's not just in movies. It's a real thing. And it's not just the men out here. The women can get it too. And I was a freaking child. I was 17. I was a freaking child. Children can get it too. Police, they took me home, got in touch with my parents, let them know what happened. I continued to live life. I was not allowed to walk to school alone anymore. I had to take certain routes or whatever. Yeah, life changed a little bit for me. I was pissed because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, 17. And though I was 17 and wanted to do what I wanted to do, I was scared because now it was so personal. People will do things to me, and maybe I want to start doing a little more of what my parents say so that I can be safe. To make matters worse, I don't know exactly how much time after that happened to me, but not long after, a little girl, I don't know how old she was, 9, 10, 11, a little girl by the name of Ryan Harris was brutally murdered on my mom's block, on the last house on my mom's block. And that just really, it was really bad because I already understood, I was a teenager and that happened to me, but that was a baby. And she was visiting. She didn't even live there. That's what was so fucked up. She was visiting. And whoever it was, they took that baby and they brutalized her. They took her life. And somebody's baby was gone. And so when I grew up and I had daughters, I could never forget that. Once my babies started to grow, I have 2 daughters. My daughters are 12 and 13 now. But even when they were younger, I didn't have the 7 and 8-year-old, 7 and 9, that could walk around the neighborhood, that could go up the street and play with their friends. My kids weren't even going next door without me. My kids weren't on the porch without me in the window or on the porch right there, eyeballs on them. And even that, with them being out front, didn't feel safe because, drive-bys happening, kids getting caught. It's just really messed up that I had to feel that way. So I left a few times. Wound up in Kentucky. Lived in Indiana for a few years. Iowa. I was just always trying to get away so I could have peace of mind. And so that my babies didn't have to live like caged animals. But I loved them. And I didn't know what else to do but to just keep trying to leave. Unfortunately, I was young, I left but didn't leave alone. And so the situation that I was in when I left, when that situation failed, wound up going back home. Right back home where I didn't feel safe. So, I'd get settled, start life over again and still just be surrounded by all this violence. It just got worse and worse. It was really hard because before I left Chicago this last time, my kids were so pissed that I couldn't let them live. They were so mad that they wanted to go live with their father. Okay? A woman should be with her children. Children should be with their mother. And it's not a biased thing. It's not to say anything about the fathers. You know, no matter how I feel about my kids' dads personally, children should be with their mothers. But mine were so hurt that they couldn't live. You know, they couldn't play like the other kids. That they were asking if they could go live with him because they wanted to feel safe. And so for me, that was not an option. So no matter how much money I was making, no matter how big my place was, no matter what it was that I had going on in Chicago, had to come to an end, because now it's not just me who knows about this place we live in. They grew up. My kids are smart. All these kids are smart. They get smarter with every generation. These kids are not ignoring what's happening around them. They know I keep them inside. You know, when they have fun, it's because I put them in my car and drive them out of the area. They make friends. Can I go to my friend's house? No. Can I go to the park with my friends? No. Can I go to my friend's party? No. When my friends come over? All that was shut down because I don't know the friends. I don't know their family. I don't want people to know where I live. I ain't nobody coming to my house, bringing no drama in my house, bringing no violence to my house. And so, you know, I left again. And just for so long, I just wanted to be at home. I wanted to be at my hometown. I wanted my kids to grow up there. Because there's so much to do there. You know, I keep moving to these little places where, you know, in my little spare time, I'm okay with sleeping because there's nothing going on around me. You know, I have to drive away. Where I live now, I have to go far away to have a good time. I make good money, have a good job, have a sucky work schedule. So there's not a whole lot of time to, you know, just drive out of town, you know, go have a good time. But when I want to do that, I want to go home, you know. And home is a war zone. It really is. My kids don't want to go there because they know it's crazy. And that's bad. And I just miss home so bad. All my people there, you know. I miss y'all. If y'all watching this, I miss you all very much. I remember shortly after the little girl was killed on my mom's block, a lady was going door to door interviewing neighbors, and I was one of very few people who was home. And she just wanted to talk about what happened to the little girl, Ryan Harris. And, you know, I gave her my thoughts on it. It was sad, you know, it was really screwed up what they did to the little girl. And she asked if I knew any other people in the area who were killed or victims of violence. And I told her about myself and what happened to me. She wound up writing about me in her, you know, article. Ryan and I went in that same article. And that lady told me that she knew there were development plans for that area and it would get better. And she was trying to encourage me because I was talking to her and I was telling her my story and I was in tears because it hurt me so bad. Like, these are my people, black people. And one of them was about to probably do to me what happened to that little girl. Like, he literally, I saw his face. He wasn't about to take me, rape me, and just let me walk away. Most likely, if I wasn't as strong and as brave as I was to hit him and run away, he would have taken me, put me in his car. I'd have been dead that day. And these are black men doing this to black women and children. And, you know, so she was trying to encourage me. And she says, you know, you guys have to give it time. They're coming. They're going to build some things. And it's funny to me because I thought she was just talking crap, but lo and behold, the years went on, and they started building some cute little row houses, and then the school, Kennedy King, new building for that. That's nice. People are still dying. And I know Inglewood is not the only neighborhood where they're building new things. But let me tell you what, America, putting a pretty new building in an area is not doing shit to stop people from killing people. It's not stopping black on black anything. Maybe the intention is to put nice things there and move nicer people there so you can bring, more stuff, more tourists, whatever. You guys can make some more money, blah, 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 whatever. So then what? You just place us somewhere else for some more violence to happen. My question is, what the heck is it that we need to do, like, at this point, with how horrible the violence has gotten in the city? And it's not just our city. That just happens to be my city. That's why the recent occurrences bother me so. But is there an answer? How do we stop black on black crime? What's it gonna take? We had a damn black president. That didn't change nothing. People still dying. And these deaths are just getting more and more ridiculous. They're taking out kids, y'all. These kids didn't do anything to deserve this. They were born. They deserve a chance, They deserve to live. And just like little ones are being taken out, it's like there are so many little ones who are just as dangerous as the ones that were taken out. That's where it starts a lot of the time, the upbringing. But with the ones who are already big monsters out here killing everybody, ain't no option to squish them back down to a little poo-poo and teach them to be nice. Show them the way that they should live. Teach them nice lessons. Help them to become more moral. We can't do that. Ain't no time machines. There's no shrinking people. It's not Honey, I Shrunk the Baby or whatever the movie. No, they're big. Already here. Already killers. So what do? Putting everybody in jail is not fixing anything. They say educate them instead of putting them in jail. Is that the answer? Really, is it? Because I don't know. I feel like some people have it set in their head that they are a certain way. Some of them find Jesus and hallelujah, ready to stop killing everybody. And some people are just like that. Some people glorify killers. They glorify that whole gangbang life. We're 3 and 4 and saw Uncle Timmy out here selling drugs, shooting folks, gangbanging, whatever. And I think that is the best thing they ever saw in life. And grow up and just into a monster and gonna be that way. So what do we do about those? What do we do about the people who are just like that? I know females too. I consider myself a savage because of the way that I handle things. I came from a rough ass city. Okay, but there's a lot that I didn't have to experience. There are females that are rougher and more, courageous than I am and have a horrible mind to go with it. That's a bad, bad combination and are super violent and are not afraid to kill. There are females like that just as bad as men, So what do we do about them? And it would be nice if us as a people had the answer. But us as a people are constantly becoming victims to this because we don't have the answer. So it would just be nice if we to figure something out, you know? I'm just thinking about this stuff because I want to go home. I would be so happy if I could actually move back home and be close to my parents, you know? Be close to my other family. Go out, have a good time, enjoy the scenery like I used to when I was younger, when it was just me. Because that's the problem, it's not just Shakita anymore. And not saying that every person who lives in Chicago, every black person has to live in the hood. But the way it's set up, a person like me who has 3 children, is a single mom, has these children with men that I thought were going to be, 2 men I thought were going to be my husband. But I was wrong. They were wrong. So there's me and these 3 little humans that depend on me. They ain't going nowhere. They're going to be with me. So every decision that I make, I have to make sure I can handle it. Meaning I have to take care of them. Ain't no living in downtown Chicago with the jobs that are out here and available. I can't live in downtown Chicago. I can't move up north. I can't live in Evanston being a single mom unless I go back to school, get the degree, hope the degree makes a difference when it's time to jump back into the workforce. You know, I'm an entrepreneurial soul. I'll start a business in a heartbeat, but is that business going to have me living in a condo with my 3 kids downtown, you know, or up in Evanston somewhere? Is that the reality of it? Right now, it's not. My people are where my people are. When I go there, I have to go where I go. You know what I'm saying? If I move there, we know what area I'm going to wind up living in. And it's sad and it's scary. And I just, right now, I want to go home and I can't. This is something I was thinking about just recently. Like, you know, how can I work it out where I could be out there, be close enough? Maybe in one of the surrounding, you know, suburbs. Or something. All that mess. It's just as bad. Pretty much everywhere that the black people are moving to. Adding to the black community. All the same stuff's going on. So, I'm not going home. I've been asked a few times lately. Like, are you ever gonna move back? Nope. No. Because they're killing people. And I wish you would leave too. You know, and it's messed up. I have to feel like that. I feel like my freaking town is just poison. You want to die? Go to Chicago. And not necessarily every person who goes is going to. But you know, it's the most unexpected people become victims. And I don't have time for that. Of course, things happen to people all around the world. Okay. Yeah. I dare another MF to say that to me when there's a conversation about Chicago being the murder capital. Yeah, well, things happen everywhere. Yeah, well, it's concentrated in Chicago, and that's the problem, okay? So that's why I'm sad that I can't go home. You know, don't downplay the situation. It is what it is. Chicago is dangerous as hell. And maybe it's not such an issue for everyone, but when you're from there and that's where you want to be, it's a freaking issue. So what are we going to do about it? It'd be real nice if our new president had an answer to that. Anyway, it's just my thoughts. I didn't know exactly how I was going to fit that into a Facebook post. And yeah, it's going on 30 minutes. I talked y'all the whole entire death. It's all good though. Love you, my Facebook friends. You got any questions or anything? Feel free to inbox me. Got any testimonies about situations that you've come out of? Feel free to inbox me, comment, Love and hugs all around. Fist bumps. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.